Hello and welcome to another episode of Mortgage Video Mastermind, where we bring you professionals who share insight into the latest trends, tips, industry, technology, and services to help you create more videos to use in your mortgage business. And we should be live. So welcome. Happy New Year. So good to see everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, 2022. And moving on, have a whole new year. You guys have a good holiday season. I know it's like we took the last 2 weeks off, which seemed like a long time. Everyone had a good holiday?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yes, I got a lot done.
Just saying, I got crap done. So,
Yeah, I took last week off. My son was in town, took last week off. Kids that had been gone for the last 2 years, some serving our country. They all came back into town to see their families. So it was honestly just a wonderful week catching up. Very, very good.
Amazing.
Yep. And Frazier, your mom was in Atlanta now, so she lives there. So she was there for Christmas.
Yeah, it was good. It was the first Christmas we've had in a few years together with the family. So that was really nice for us. And just excited to have her here and have the kids be able to see their grandmother on a regular basis now.
Yeah, very nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we've got speakers that we're lining up for each week, and I have them. We'll start releasing. I want to get a schedule together just for everyone to kind of let people know, who's coming on. Next week, we have Danny Ruiz coming on, and Danny has been instrumental in making TikTok videos and getting a lot of leverage on it. And so he's going to come on and talk about what he's doing and how he comes up with ideas and how that's working for him. And then we've got some other speakers lined up. So each week we want to make sure that we are providing good information, good value, good content to help everyone produce videos, no matter what that is. Short form videos, we're doing some work on that. Obviously YouTube, all those things are important. But today I thought we'd just talk about, Scott, you said it before we got on, getting back in the saddle again. And sometimes that can be a challenge when we have kind of lost that cadence and that pace getting into the holidays. Yeah. So I thought we just kind of go around and talk about, what you're doing, what works, what doesn't work, those kind of things. And, Carl, you started out talking about, the drinking water, and I know being able to focus on that and creating that. And those are some things that we do in our lives, creating habits so we can accomplish goals, but the same thing applies as far as what we're doing in our work life. So, Carl, you do a great job as far as teaching and leading and talking about, planning and setting up those systems. So I'm going to let you kick this one off.
So what I do is, and some of you might have heard me talk about this before, I do a thing I call the ICE model. ICE, which obviously spelled ICE. And right. So when I write it down, I write it I beneath that C beneath that E. And what I do is I look at everything that I'm doing or that I'm planning to do, and I grade it on my ICE model. So let's take doing your first video. Let's just say that, for example. So I go, all right, Ginger, I hear you've been telling me to do these videos. And so I'm debating, do I actually hit the record button and do one? So I would say before you do that, let's measure it on the ICE model. So I stands for impact.
Okay.
So on a scale of 1, I guess 0, but I always think on a scale of 1 to 10, how much impact will this have on my business, right? And if I don't know for sure how much impact, I just look at others. And so I'd say, all right, Scott, all right, Jason, what kind of impact on a scale of 1 to 10 has video been in your business, right? And I can tell you, for me, it's been a solid 10, like for sure. Jason, would you the same way?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, same here. So, and by the way, on the 1 to 10, 7's not an option. We take that off the table. Okay. 7 is kind of like I don't really give an answer, right? So it's either a 6, which means I don't do it, or it's an 8, which means I'm going to do it, right?
Interesting.
So the impact of video is a solid 10 on our business, no question. It warms up the calls, When we call people, they know who we are. When we start doing videos, sending out to our realtor partners, posting up on Facebook, when I send in a pre-approval letter, listing agent sees it, oh, I know this guy. So impact, solid 10. The next one is C, or confidence. So how much on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the confidence that I can actually do this? Now, so when I'm measuring, can I actually do this? It's like, can I physically do this? All right, well, gosh, I pick up my 5-ounce camera. I click the record button. There's nothing keeping me from doing this, right? So my confidence of being able to pull off picking up my iPhone and clicking the record button is real high.
Right.
Now you say, well, Carl, you got to produce and edit your own TV show. All right, I don't have much confidence in that, because that's not that it may or may not be a good thing to do. It's too many moving steps for me. Video's not that way, right? So our video, my little iPhone's not that way. So my confidence on being able to actually physically do a video, especially if I grab your book, Ginger, and it tells me exactly what to record on, my confidence is very high on that too. I'd give it a 10, 100% I can pull this off. So my impact, 10, confidence, 10. And then the last one is easy. How easy is this? How easy is it for me to do? Again, doing video, it's not, do I feel uncomfortable? No, that's not the question. The question is, how easy is it? And again,
right.
Shooting a video has never been easier. Like look, when we first started, when some of us started doing these videos, I think I did my first online videos, I think in like 02, 03, and that was early. I was an early adopter on this stuff.
Right.
Man, it was complicated. It's not now. You go on Facebook, click record, and boom, there it is, right?
Yeah.
So my impact is 10, my confidence is 10, and in this case, my easy is 10, because again, Ginger, you tell me exactly what to say. So this ranks as a 30 on my I scale. My rule for the I scale is anything I'm doing has to be an 8 or higher on all 3. So it can't average 8. Like if any one falls beneath, like say a 6 or below, I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to do it. Right? Maybe and Jason might be doing it. Say, Carl, it's a good thing. Hey, awesome, brother. I see it works for you. You're a really smart guy. I'm sure you wouldn't lead me wrong. Awesome. You go do that. I'm going to go do something else. It didn't rank on my I score, because I'll do that thing that not that it's better, but I'm going to do that thing that Scott showed me, which on my I score gave me a 27. And so that fits in mine. So that's kind of a long explanation. I don't know if that's what you were expecting, but
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
But
And I think
Well,
that's the base too, to start with that, to say, I love it. You know, how much of an impact is it going to have? How much confidence? And not even just like, maybe you're not super confident with it, but you know that you can quickly gain that confidence.
It's not how confident I feel, right? There's no emotion in this grading. Is how confident am I that I can,
right?
While I might be scared to death. Like if you used to put me, say, all right, Carl, there's a microphone. You got to go sing the Star Spangled Banner.
That's not a great start.
Right. Well, I can, right? As long as somebody's got the word, just being honest, as long as somebody's got the
I can do it.
Yeah. I can. I'm going to be scared, right?
Yeah.
I'll do a good job, but I'm 1000% confident that good Lord has given me a pair of vocal cords. I'll give it my best shot. So that the confidence, it's not how I feel.
Right.
Can I pull it off? And so I don't like fear doesn't get graded. Right. That's not part of the scoring.
So take that part out of it.
You have to take that part off.
Yep.
Right. Because if we all, I know the 4 of you very well. I the 4 of us, myself included that. So I know the 3 of you very well. And I would say if the 4 of us didn't do video because of fear, none of us would be doing video.
Right.
I just shot a video a few minutes ago out on my side yard for something. And I was nervous, and it's like, I'm nervous every time. And I've done hundreds and hundreds.
Thousands. Yeah.
Maybe thousands, I've done a lot of videos. Every time I record a podcast episode, I've had over 1 million downloads now. I get nervous,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
So every single time. So yeah, fear's not graded here. Not allowed to rank yourself on the fear schedule. It's like, am I confident that I can do it? So anyway.
I
Now,
love that.
Carl, you're
I
a
love that.
huge Carl, you're a huge proponent of who, not what. Like, now what can I do? Who can I get to do it? How much does that play into, because especially when we're talking about, you say fear doesn't come into it, but there are several hurdles to doing video. There's the technology piece of the hurdle. There's sort of the, hey, I'm a little bit afraid of the equipment piece. There's the what do I
What to
talk
say.
about?
Yep.
What do I talk about piece? And then there's the psychological, well, what are they going to think of me if I go up there and try to sing the Star Spangled Banner without words? And can I mumble my way through it? So how much of that, when you run into that, because like maybe that this is really, really important, but you hit a couple of sevens. Do you abandon video, or do you start looking at ways to overcome those, how to turn those sevens into eights?
Well, but understand, so I'm gonna, and brother, I love you, Scott, but I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. This is not hard. Now, everything that the rebuttals you gave there are the rebuttals that you, Ginger, and Jason gave, which is, hey, I'm scared. We don't allow fear to dictate our activities, right? We're not talking about jumping out of an airplane here, right? We're talking about clicking a button and letting the world see what we look like, which, oh, by the way, every time I go to 7-Eleven to get gas, everybody sees what I look like. I just went and bought some oranges. Everybody sees what I look like, right? So for me, it's like, how easy is video? Look, all I got to do again, and I know Jimber's too humble to bring this up. She's got 2 great books, one of which I'm a part of, but she's got 2 great books that give you say this. This is your topic, say this. So the idea of, yeah, but I don't know what to say, dude, that's gone. Can't use that excuse anymore.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. Hey, join the club. Me too. Right? Feel the fear and do it anyway. Push through the fear.
And that's kind of my point. They're not rebuttals. They're not things that should ever stop you. But when it comes to video, it seems like we have these very low level, let's call them speed bumps. But when you compound those speed bumps, it turns into a bigger issue. It's
it's all based on fear. 100% of it.
It is, isn't it?
All of it.
Isn't it?
You say
Fear not knowing, it's the unknown. So
yeah, oh no, you're going to be afraid, right? So
Yeah.
so now it's a known. Hey, you're going to be afraid, but again, we're not talking about jumping out of an airplane here. And always, one thing else I keep in mind, Ginger, is like when I sent like the video I just sent out, there is 0 people on earth that just shot a video like what I just did and is sending that out to their database.
Yep.
Nobody else is doing it. My point is, or let me rephrase that. The people that I sent this to have never seen anybody do this before because no other loan officer is doing it, right? There is, it's not that, and maybe Scott is out in California, but around here, my database, they got 1 video from a loan officer this year and it was me. Right. So they got nothing to compare it to. I'm the best one they got. Right.
well, and even if they were getting other videos, what you speak and what you bring, just the same as the conversations, the phone calls that you have, will resonate to different people. So It doesn't even matter. I mean, I get that question. It's like, oh my gosh, what if everybody's doing video? It's like, what if everybody's doing video? And Fraser, you and I had this question back when we were speaking at the Gary Vaynerchuk event a couple of years ago. And you had your podcast. I think you're getting started on a second podcast. And I was wanting to start a podcast for the mortgage list. And I'm like, gosh, are there too many podcasts out there? Carl, you have the #1 podcast in the entire mortgage industry with 1 million downloads, which is phenomenal. And this is what Fraser told me. We can never have too many podcasts.
I'll give you that.
It's the same with video, right? I mean, we can never, there's what you bring is different than what somebody else brings.
Well,
that's it.
And I'll tell you something else. I don't think like Fraser, I hear you say you're doing like 2 now or 3 or however many that is, right? I remember couple years ago, I was walking down the grocery store. I was in the grocery store, and I'm going. My son's coming to visit, and he's a cereal guy. So I'm picking up a box of cereal, and I'm looking, and I'm going, God, there's 100 different choices of, like, literally, of cereal to buy. And I look at, like, I don't know, I'm just Cocoa Puffs. There's 5 different versions of it, right? And I'm going, huh. And so I started looking. These 100 boxes of cereal were all made by 3 primary companies: Post,
Yeah.
Post, General Mills, and Kellogg's.
Right.
So I look at Post, they got, or Kellogg's, or whichever one it was, they got 5 different versions of Count Chocula. Why is that? And I figured out the reason why they don't make just one box is the more boxes they have, the more videos they put out, the larger shelf space they have, the more likely it's to be done. So, like, if Jason's doing, 1, 2, 3, however many podcasts he's doing, hell, I'd do 5, 6, or 7, right? Because you have more shelf space that way. Same thing on the videos, just the more they're already getting stuff. When they're already buying boxes of cereal too, put yours on the shelf, right? And the more you can put on the shelf, the better you are. The coolest thing, I got a phone call from a lady. I got a call from a lady wanting to become a customer. Let's just say it that way, wanting to become a customer. And I said, well, I'm just curious, where'd you hear from me? Well, I saw that video you just did on blank. Ginger, that was a video I did. I think we figured it was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
It took me a few minutes to go. Now for her, I did it yesterday because she just saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
But that was like a little soldier going to battle with me for me, so to speak, a little robot, so to speak.
A little clone
for the last 8 years. And got me a client, and
yes.
And you don't even know that. It's like we did an end of the year blooper reel and had Andrew Vieira, who does VA out of California. And he was in our blooper reel. And it's funny because I posted it on Facebook, and he said, and you know what, Ginger, I just got another lead from that video. And he had honestly done the video like a year and a half ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that's what it does for you. So
I went and looked back at that one because she mentioned, I went, damn, I didn't let her know, but I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh, yeah. And so I went and looked at it. It was just embarrassingly terrible. It was so bad, because it was kind of in the earlier parts of it.
But she didn't know that.
And it was genuine.
Something. And it was, and they saw that. So Fraser, you are the master as far as putting systems together. And I know you work on a lot of different social media platforms and marketing for what you do. So in getting past the ice, so you've made it past what Carl says, it's like, hey, I can do this. I need to do this. We're over 8s on everything. We're going to, tackle that fear. Or maybe you've done some, last year. What are the things that people need to have to be able to create those, repeatable actions to be able to do this? Is it scheduling? Is it, having an accountability partner? What success have you had with that?
Yeah, I think, one thing is, having an accountability partner is great. And sometimes your accountability partner could be your network. So, when I did 75 Hard, I put it out there that I was doing it. Right. And so everyone was like either watching me, sharing my story, and people would send me messages saying, hey, look, you look great. You're doing a good job. I can't believe you're doing, so that was holding me accountable because I put it out there. Right. So sometimes you have a one-to-one person say, hey, I'm trying to lose weight. Can you keep me accountable to it? Or I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to quit smoking. I'm trying to eat better, whatever, what have you. Having accountability is great. And sometimes just putting it out there and staying true to it will help you with that. So being accountable to yourself is important. Planning for sure. If you don't make time, you make time for things that are important, right? And so I live and die by my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist in my world, right? So, but I've created that mindset for me, right? Knowing that that's what's going to keep me on track, right? It's not, I'm not a slave to my calendar. That's my assistant. That's my tool. That's my buddy. That's what's holding me accountable too, as far as like a system goes. But having the process, but to what a lot of people, Carl touched on some great things. I think the cereal, box, was a great analogy to what we're talking about. But look, it's been the year of video for like the last 7 years, right? In our industry, right? It just has, right? You know, this is the year of whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Now, for the last 7 years, it's been true every single year. And so to your point of like podcasts and everything, in our industry, you do not have a lot of competition when it comes to doing what we're talking about. And I know, look, as a coach, and Carl, as you as a coach, and Scott with being in doing what you're doing, and Ginger coaching people and everybody else, like we all know that we always get the question from loan officers: how do I differentiate myself? How do I set myself apart? How do I do X, Y, and Z? Here's the answer. And, you know, incorporate video into the process, giving appraisal updates, giving processing updates, giving underwriting updates, bomb. There's every tool you can imagine out there that make it so simple for you to do it. You just have to do it.
Right.
Right. And so but instead, like, oh, how do I buy leads? We're the cheapest in doing this. How do I get all these shiny new toys instead of something that's so simple in front of you? The phone, right? Like, you know, Carl was holding up that your little mini movie studio that they shoot movies on.
Yeah, literally.
You have access to in your pocket at any given time. And you know, to Carl's point, yes, you have the 2 video planners from, you know, Ginger and Carl that gives you everything you need to do it. And look, if you just subscribe to, you know, and you know, to steal something that I steal from Scott almost every time I speak, which is all of the content you need is in your sent folder in your email, but you have that. Plus, if you newsletters, if you want a quick way to easily jumpstart into doing videos, or just to, you know, to re-energize yourself for this year, look at the Crispin newsletter. Is there something in there that spoke to you that you have an opinion on? Quick, cool. Yeah. Do a 60 or 90-second video on it. Doesn't need to be an hour. Doesn't need to be 10 minutes. You have an opinion on that? Hey, I saw that. I kind of disagree with the take on that. This is how I would approach it. Hope this helped you out today. Just get started in having these conversations and doing things, and it makes it real simple. Or like Carl went back 8 years to see that video that he did. He's like, oh, that's kind of cringeworthy. Cool. Update it. Make a new version of that, right? Yeah. You already have the contents done. Is there anything, you know, that's a perfect example of having evergreen content, you know, going back 8 years and having something that's relevant today. But like, do you have old videos or old content, an old newsletter you sent, or something that was something that did something for you? Email, flyer, whatever. Do a video, an updated video for 2022 on that topic. Like I think we now, you know, I'm putting my coaching hat on here. I think it's now time for some tough love and say, look, either you do want to do these things or you don't. We cannot let fear dictate your success. If you do, then your success will not happen, right? Because fear is everywhere. To Carl's point, you're always going to have fear. I get nervous every single time I get on stage. I get nervous every single time I'm going to shoot a video or whatever, because it's not inherently built in me to do these things. But I decided my success and what I wanted to do outweighed my fear of not doing, right? And so once you finally have that mindset of doing that, you know, you're off to the races. And you know, like Carl said, it's a 10 for him. It's a 10 for me. I know, the cloning that Scott talks about with stuff that he's done on YouTube. I know it's a 10 for him. And I know it's sure as heck a 10 for Ginger. And maybe sometimes we wouldn't even connect it if it wasn't for that. So just know that you have all the evidence that it works. You have all the help and tools and resources to do it right. Just got to do it. Just got to press the damn button.
Right. You know, in the coming months, one of the things we're going to talk about is how to leverage that. So, and that's often a question I get. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to shoot one video a week. I did that last year with my mortgage video planner. It's 52 weeks of content ideas. I said, I am going to shoot a video every week that talks about the topic at hand. So the subject. And I did that. And I can tell you, last week when we dropped our last video, it was such a sense of accomplishment. I'm like, you know what? I did this. I was able to, you know, record a video, and some of them I think I recorded 2 months on one day, and, you know, just, hey, knock it out. And I mean, I have a team that edits and produces it. You have other people you know, its philosophy is getting other people to do it. And it works, but you first have to make the commitment, put it on your calendar. Like Jason said, talk to other people, hold them let them hold you accountable. I actually have been, people have been posting in our chat as far as things that they're doing this year. So, Chris posts that he loaded some scripts, he loaded the teleprompter app, he bought a gimbal. It's part of one of the things we did in our Edu Marketing Toolbox is we give 4 video scripts a month: a refi script, a product script, a process script, and a process product and a process script. And so it's so simple. You can honestly just upload it, same thing, Carl, into your phone. It becomes a teleprompter. So you don't even have to think about what to say. So those are the kind of things. And then, get the tools. If you need something else to do it, get it done and then get started. Michelle, and I'm so excited, Michelle's actually opening a hub this month. And Michelle, we need to get you as a guest on once you get open. And I'm going to be back in Atlanta area in February. So we'll come down and maybe we'll do a live event from there. But she's so committed to this that she actually just got a new office and she's calling it the Hub. So it's a Homestar Hub, and she's going to invite other real estate agents in to shoot video there. And so she has found a way for her to leverage her business, not just about her doing video, but opening it up to others to be able to do video. So those are kind of things, and if you have been doing video for a while, then look at the next thing you can do. Share that experience, share that expertise with your real estate partners and help them to be able to go and do video too. So I think that's fabulous. And then I think I'm going to finish what she's doing. So Michelle's also doing a 1-minute video on Mondays, which is perfect. Again, have that repeatable action. People do look for that consistency. We dropped our videos every Friday, and it's funny, I didn't realize how important that was until we got a testimonial from one of our customers who said, every Friday, Ginger sends out the weekly video tip. It's like, oh my gosh, they remember, I'm sending it out on Friday. So people come to remember those things. So Michelle, I love that. And so those are kind of things that, think of the ways you can do this. It's not scary. You do have a phone. It's not difficult to do. And just get started. Sometimes there's a saying, and I think it's Steve Sims that I heard it from the first time. Probably other people have said it, is like, get going and then get good. And I think that's so important.
Yeah. There's a quote that says anything worth doing is worth doing wrong the first time.
Yeah.
Is right, or worth screwing it up. So here's what I would like to add into this, and I think this is sort of a piece that people underestimate, is while this is easy and there is a lot of simplicity to it, there is still a lot of complexity to it, because when you create video, you're creating trust assets. When you have trust assets, you now have marketing materials that you can go out there and you can expose to different audiences in different ways. The biggest challenge, and the thing that I've found over and over again that seems to catch people off guard, is it is not an instant gratification strategy. It is a delayed reward strategy. And it takes some time sometimes for you to get the positive feedback loop and to learn how to use those videos and put them out there. So the beautiful thing, and the thing that I'm really looking forward to, is what we're doing right now, is get involved in communities that are constantly having conversations about this. There is no one answer for everybody, but if Carl does a video that he says no other loan officer does, you could look at Carl's video and you could record that exact same video and it would be 180 degrees different from Carl's, because it's not Carl, it's you. And so it's 100% unique to you.
And it's not going to my people, it's going to your people.
It's going to your people. And I've always said there is no competition when you're creating content online, because nobody is going to say it exactly like you. They're not going to look like you. They're not going to sound like you. And let's be honest, most consumers are making their decision first. They're doing some visuals, but people connect with different people. So the challenge with doing video and creating content is that the rewards are so exponentially greater down the line. And so you really got to stick with it. And, I love seeing this group grow. We got over 1,000 people. Yep. Carl, you've just grabbed the video content ball and just ran with it in your community. I mean, you've been doing it for years. But I mean, we've been doing even more of that.
With a face like this, I mean, you know,
I know.
Keep this from the world.
That's right. But I think that's the single most important thing, is that you're going to fail more times. I think you just said this to me, Carl. You're going to fail more times than you succeed. But if you're a professional baseball player and you hit the 3 pitches out of 10, you're in the Hall of Fame. You're one of the best performers in the world. And sometimes that's what this is. Sometimes you create a video in the forest and it falls and nobody hears it. But sometimes you create a video and somebody just grabs it and you just never know. It's the fact that you're doing it and being in this conversation and in the Mortgage Video Mastermind group and involving yourself in these conversations will get you through the desolate times of not having feedback on your videos. And then who knows, 2 years down the road, you're going to get a call out of the blue from somebody that is going to say, I just watched your horrible video that you did, your first one 3 years ago, and it was the greatest thing I ever saw. What's the next step? Right? So I've been doing this for so long, and I have these people coming back from so long ago, coming back on content that you're not super happy about now, but it's out there and it's genuine, and community is everything. So continuing these conversations and being part of this community, and joining us here every week and tuning into the things that we're doing, is going to give you the support system and the strength to just power through, because none of this stuff is hard. But it's not instant gratification. It's something that you got to stick with for a while. And by the time you start reaping the rewards, you're going to have all of that backlog of all of that work that's going to start reaping rewards on top of that. It's Matthew principle. Video really is, it just comes back and it builds up over time. So that was my 2 cents.
And worth so much more than 2 cents.
Today it's 2 cents.
Today is 2 cents.
Inflation.
There you go.
2.7.
No kidding. Okay. So this week's takeaways then, when you're, first of all, look at, does it make sense? Using the ICE principle that Carl talked about, it's like, does it make sense for your business? Does it meet that litmus test? And if it does, then create a strategy, have those people that can help hold you accountable, put it on your calendar. That's the number one thing. It's like, hey, I'm going to do this every Wednesday. I'm going to shoot, or every, Saturday, I'm going to shoot 4 videos, whatever that is, do it and hold yourself accountable. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is make the decision and then hold yourself accountable to make sure you're going to do it. So next week, guys, we're going to have Danny Ruiz. He's going to be talking about TikTok and what he's doing for his TikTok videos. So I'm super excited to have him on, and always grateful for all of you. So great call for the first year of 2022, and we'll see you all next Wednesday.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.